Hey booktubers, Wendy here. Welcome back. If you're already a subscriber, welcome if you're new here. Happy to have you. So on today's video, we are going to do a book review and we're going to look at some book mail, so stay tuned. Hey guys, I am back. So as you know, excuse me, I'm never prepared. Okay. Actually, I started filming and I forgot my glasses, and then I had to put my books down, and yeah, I'm just a mess. Okay, so the book review that I'm going to do here is Haruki Murakami, and that is After Dark. Okay, so if you guys have ever read him before, he's a very interesting writer. So in that I mean that he takes you, you almost feel like an observer, like a voyeur in his, a voyeur, I should say. I think I said it wrong. You know what I mean. You feel like a voyeur in his books because you are observing everything that he's talking about and kind of looking behind the glass as to what's going on. So Mary is the one of the main characters in this book, and she's at a Denny's one night. She leaves home. She doesn't really tell anybody where she is. She has a book. She's sitting in Denny's. She's having something to drink, and all of a sudden this kid sits down, invites himself to her table, and let me just make sure of his name because I finished this a little while ago. So he's a friend of her sister's, and he sits down and he introduces himself and says he knows her sister. She's very beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Mary's used to people complimenting her sister. She's kind of like the black sheep of the family. It's just her and her sister. Her sister's a model and she gets all these accolades. And so he sits down and he talks to her about her sister, and they just make small talk. He says he's in a band and he's in the building not far from there, and he's practicing with his friends. And so they start to talk, and then she just tells him that she's just going to read some more and then probably go home later on. So this is what takes place in the seedier part of Tokyo one night. So it takes us through a lot of seedy characters. We meet an office worker that is led us to believe that he committed, I'm sorry guys, my allergies are so bad, that he committed a murder. We have a brothel, and there's prostitutes. This all takes place in the span of one night in Tokyo. Sort of like a Tokyo mafia type of people. So you get a little bit of everybody. And in each chapter, there's a little clock that shows you exactly what time it is. So it takes you through the night, which is kind of cool. And I think I told you guys I was going to DNF this. I did read this. I didn't read this. I actually listened to this audiobook, The Strange Library, that's in the back, and that was really good. Something about his books or his audiobooks where I start to listen and I almost want to like DNF it or not listen anymore if I'm listening to an audio, and it always, if you just stay with it, he sucks you in. And I love his writing, I really do. I want to really get all the books from him. So it takes you through a night with all the seedier part of Tokyo, and then Mary's sister, who the young man that sits down with her knows, his name is Takahashi. That's the boy that sits down with her. So he asks her about her sister, and her sister's name, I don't want to screw this up. Her sister's name, sorry guys, is Araasi. And she says throughout the book that, she knows that her sister's been depressed, and her sister sleeps like all the time. And, she'll be at the dinner table and then she'll say, I have to go to sleep. And this goes on for like months and months. And her parents have taken her to doctors and they say there's nothing wrong. But they they treat it as if it's something she's going to get over, almost if she's in some kind of depression. So they don't really put too much importance on it. Mari talks to Takahashi about this. Even though her and her sister aren't very close, you could tell it worries her. Like it's a worry to her, and she's concerned for her sister. And she starts to tell him and open up about her life and her parents. And she says that her sister sleeps all the time, and she's not really quite sure why. And the doctor says she's fine. And we're taken into her sister's room, and there's a man that they don't describe his face, and he's like observing her sister sleeping. And then there's periods in the book where her sister wakes up and it's almost as if she can't escape the room she's in, and it's explained how beautiful she looks when she sleeps. And Mari says that several times in the book to Takahashi, that her sister is very beautiful. She's even more beautiful in sleep. But we never really figure out, like, is her sister... At first I thought her sister killed herself, and she was like took an overdose and was just sleeping and no one knew. But they tell you, as you're like an observer watching her, and they explain that she moves at certain times, or she opens her eyes at certain times. So it's typical Haruki Murakami, the way he writes. So it was interesting, and it took me a little while to get that, because I wasn't quite sure what was happening with her sister. But it really is not a long book, and it does keep you interested. Like it kept me engaged. Like I didn't want to DNF it. It sucked me in, and I liked it. I really did. This is how I am with him, with his books and his audiobooks. So check it out, After Dark. It really was very good. It's not really like a main plot. It's just about the seedier side of Tokyo, what happens in the span of a whole night, what goes on after hours, and different little things that happen and different characters. But there's not like a main plot or anything. So I enjoy it. Okay, so the next one, this is some book mail that I just got. This is called Once More with Feeling, a novel by Alyssa Sussman. And I got 2 of these books for the cover, I think, alone, because they're so pretty and so colorful. This one says a former pop star finds herself back in the spotlight along with an old flame in this friends to lovers meets enemies to lovers story from the best-selling author of Funny You Should Ask, the sensational TikTok romance. So you guys know that I'm not a big romance person, but I have to say that these kind of piqued my interest. I kind of gave in to peer pressure a little bit because, because I've seen these around TikTok, Bookstagram, everywhere, and they all got really, good reviews. And everybody enjoyed them. And I said, you know what? For a light read, for a summer read, I can do romance. Like, I could check these out. This is exactly what I'm looking for. A light read, a summer read. And these look like they're going to fit the bill perfectly. Something to take to the beach, perfect. So that's one. And then the other one I got is actually called Beach Read. And this one is by Emily Henry. This is the first Emily Henry book I've read. But I'm going to read more if I like this, because I've heard nothing but good things about her. A breath of fresh air, steamy, smart, and perceptive. Josie Silver, author of One Day in December. It says, Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens A Happily Ever After, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love, really. Touching and heartfelt. So this, again, perfect, hence the name Beach Read. So I'm excited about reading these two because I really do my research, guys. Like, I follow a lot of book talk and bookstagram and all that stuff, and I really look at what everyone's reading, and I kind of gauge like what's the consensus that everybody says is good and enjoyed, and like is a perfect, like, I go by the time of the year. So these are perfect, and across the board these two came up, so I got them. And then of course I have about 40 pages left, and I'm almost done with tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Yeah, I'm almost done with this. Yeah, just being silly. It's been a long day. Okay, so yeah, so I'm almost done. I love this book. I didn't think I would, but it's really very, very good. Another one that was hard to put down. And so I am also listening to Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey's audio book. That came very highly recommended as well, and I'm very much enjoying that. So yeah, so these are the books that I plan on reading, the book that I'm finishing, the book I just finished, and like I said, I'm having a pretty good reading year, so far. Let me just take a sip of my electrolytes. I hope my throat, I always say this isn't making that sound. If you're wondering what color this is, it matches my shirt. This is watermelon electrolytes. I am on keto and have been for a while. So it is important to have your electrolytes, to keep your potassium up. You have to do all that while you're on keto because you lose a lot of that. So yeah, so I have my electrolytes every day. I think this is Ultima brand, and I tried the watermelon, which I really like. I like all the flavors that they have. So yeah, and that's also a self-care tip. So if you are on keto, even if you're not, because the weather's so hot, you have to really replace your electrolytes, especially if you're sweating, you're outside, you got to stay hydrated. Electrolytes are perfect. I've been taking electrolytes for a while. So that is that. That's it for me on this hot and hazy Monday on Long Island. You guys know I'm waiting for the fall. It's my favorite time of the year. Sorry. I just am not a fan of the humidity. That's all I could say. Yeah. So I will see you guys again this Wednesday, and don't forget to tune in for Bookish News. We have some new news stories to share with you guys, so be sure and tune in. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on this video, please, and show me some love. And that's it. I will see you guys back here again on Wednesday. See ya.